up the indoor season this next weekend at the Hilton Garden Invitational at the JDL Fast Track facility. Can you give us just an idea of what we should maybe look for, what athletes we're going to see some good times from?
Yeah, so I'm very excited. We had 2 additional athletes come in this semester with Yannick Stube as well as Heno Havenga. So we're going to have some help in the DMR this year compared to last year. So we're hoping to open up in the DMR anywhere from 9:55 to 10 flat. As well as we have a returner, Jimmy Hollingsworth, who will be in the DMR and opening up in the 800, and then Victor as well will be opening up in the 800. So I'm looking forward to hopefully getting some provisional marks from all of those athletes, either both in the DMR as well as the opening.
Well, that's exciting. Can you explain the differences, just very briefly, between a provisional mark, an automatic mark, and what that means as far as qualifying to an NCAA championship meet?
So the provisional mark basically gives you the opportunity to possibly advance if there's not enough people that actually hit the automatic time. Usually they do take provisional marks because everyone doesn't hit the automatic time in the DMR from last year. So this year, if we could hit anywhere, I would say 9:55, 9:58, it should definitely help us get in without having to hit the automatic time for the DMR, especially because the winning time was low 9:50s, so that would set us up pretty well, especially this early into the season.
That's exciting to have the opportunity to get some kids at a national championship. The distance medley relay is not a relay that most people are familiar with. Can you talk us through the different legs of the relay and what are good times for those differing legs?
Yes, so it's a 1200, an 800, a 400, and a mile. So it would be nice to be able to switch up kind of the legs as well, because we're not really set on, or I'm not really set on, maybe the 12 and the 8 leg. I might alter those depending on how everyone looks this weekend to see what race or what leg fits everyone better once I'm able to actually see them race. I haven't really got to see Yannick as well as Heno race more than once this season, so this will be exciting for me to see them race in a relay event versus an open event.
That's cool, and I think if we go through the legs, you know, in the 1200 meter leg, that's an odd distance. I think competitive, the time that we're looking for is about 3 minutes there. What pace is that for the mile?
3 minutes exactly would be 4 minutes. And I think Jimmy last year did a great job being a freshman. I believe his fastest time in the 1200 meter leg was 3:03. And again, for a freshman, that's pretty solid, and that was very exciting for us to see. So hopefully we'll be able to get maybe a second or so off of that for this year. And again, getting some time as well on the mile leg as well as the 800. That will be the huge difference for us. Last year, the fastest 800 meter leg we had time-wise was 2 minutes. So we should hopefully be able to gain about 8 seconds in that area alone.
So we're looking for a leg on the 800 meter leg of between 150 to 151. Is that correct?
Yes. I think if we hit that this early on, that would be great. Even if we hit 152 right now for this weekend, that would be great, knowing that we'll sharpen up when we get closer to nationals. Expecting to see a little bit more time drop as well.
Cool. And lastly, we have the all-important mile leg, which is what our anchor is going to run.
Yes.
Can you give us an idea of how fast is that mile leg going to be, so that we can think about that as far as an open race?
Yes, so Yannick will be doing the ending leg for the most part for this weekend. Last weekend, or 2 weeks ago when he raced, he basically opened up in a 4:13. So that was kind of exciting. So hopefully, being in a relay and the excitement of having some other competition, it'll give him the ability to maybe probably run closer to about 4:10. This is a flat track, so that's kind of nice because we'll be able to get some time as well from that. And we're going to have some help, I believe, with Wake Forest. They're entered in at a 9:45, so that's kind of exciting to know that we'll be running against some D1 schools.
It's kind of cool to think about going to a meet. Is all of our competition primarily going to be Division I institutions? Will there be any other Division II schools who will be running as fast as we will this weekend?
Off the top of my head, I'm not aware of any other ones that have run anything that have been posted outside of other marks that are already posted. So I would say for us this weekend, at this level, we would be the only Division II schools. All the other competition that are entered for this weekend are Division I schools that are close by. Everyone else is kind of a ways off that are competing at JDL.
Cool. You mentioned that we're going to get some time on it because we're on a flat 200 meter track. Can you talk about you know, the conversions. I think indoors is a little bit confusing. It becomes a little bit convoluted when we say, well, this track is worth so many times. What are they adjusting that to, and why are there conversions?
So there are conversions this year because Nationals is on a big track. So when we're running on a flat track, basically they're giving us time for being on a slower track per se, because people that are running on a big track is to be considered an advantage. So we're getting time from that. There's always also the altitude change as well that people get if they're racing at altitude. Obviously we won't be at that this weekend. So that will also be nice to know that we're getting a few seconds from running on a flat track as well.
Well, that's cool. We're really looking forward to some great times this weekend, and I appreciate you sitting down with me, Sahai, just to preview what we're doing. We'll be back in the next couple of weeks to talk about how our kids have done and further update you on what to expect for the rest of Indoor. Have a great one.